It's
Well,
cool.
I saw what you did the other day. You put together basically a how to, and you've done this for free, right? Like a how to make video
Yep.
content, which is like,
Yeah.
man, I just love that because it's so in alignment with what I'm really trying to do with the community here. Is my whole focus is how can I help business owners to level up?
One thing that's helped me is having other business owners and part of Entrepreneurs Organisation. We just throw things around in a confidential manner, so you get to learn what people are doing and get to chat things through. It's been good.
Now with level 4, we've totally had to transform our own business to the point where it feels like I've just created another new business again.
Yeah.
What we can control is actually not that much. You know, the coronavirus is outside of our control, the government's rules outside of our control, the economy is outside of our control.
I think digital marketing at the moment, like you're doing, is about creating communities.
The bit that I always kind of talk about with people is there's kind of three key things. Firstly, what do you want people to think? What do you want people to feel? And what do you want people to do?
The difference being we've got this winning mindset, growth mindset, where we can make cool, calm, clear decisions.
People do business with people they like and people they trust. And if you provide value, not expecting anything in return, things will come in return.
All right, good afternoon. Good to see a bunch of you jumping on already. It's a big day. The announcement is due today for where we will sit. Hang on, just check I've got this mic in the right spot. The announcement is due today for where we will sit, when we will go to level 2, what that will look like, and obviously for business owners that means we can start to think about planning for how we're going to do business going forward. So I think that's exciting. And today, really excited to have Rudy on. Rudy, as some of you will know, is one of the admin team that helps us to actually bring everything together we do within the group. So welcome, Rudy.
Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to have you on, man. We've talked about this for a little bit, but we finally got there, eh?
Yeah, I had time in lockdown.
Yeah. And how's it been? Because you got 3 kids at home.
Yeah, they're upstairs. I'm bribing them with McDonald's, so that's all on the cards now.
Love it.
Yeah, hopefully they stay quiet.
Yeah, we know. So we know if we start hearing banging come through, that's either the kids jumping or your wife taking control.
About 10 minutes ago, they had roller skates on and everything. So.
All right. Hey, John's jumped on as well. Welcome, John. Good to have you on. So, yeah, Rudy, like for people that don't know you, look, tell them a little bit about your. You know, I mean, obviously you've been a broker for a while now, but you've been a salesman as long as I've known you, and just a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, I think we go back for how long?
Yeah, like
10 years, something.
Yeah, it'd be easy that long. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually started with a little company called Odin Errands, and so I just basically did anything and everything that people wanted me to do, and then that's how I got into broking. When I went to the chairman of one of the other companies I worked for, and I said, "Listen, you're a broker sitting in the office the whole day. Why don't you send me up the road and I ask every business owner whether they want to sell their business?" And that's how I started, and as a lead generator, and that's how I rolled into actually probably a good time, because I came in 2012 when the end of the GFC was there. So I sort of rode that wave a bit, and then moved to Whangarei, and we're here now with Kakapo Business Sales.
Yeah, and you've been the longest standing admin on the team. You jumped on with me in probably 2015, I would have thought, maybe 2016 or something. 2015, I think it was.
I think I was looking at today for members that I added, and I added some people about like 3, almost 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, it must be around that time.
Yeah. So, and for those that don't know, we joke and we call Rudy the Hammer. He's often he's often the one that just says nah. So, but I think it's a good balance about the team that we've got with you and with Juanita and myself now, and we're doing the weekly meetings, and we're really trying to be a lot more onto it and really helping the community with everything we do. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about today, is it, Rudy?
No, apparently not.
So, look, hey, and as per usual, we'll frame up our conversation. If anybody does have any questions, you've got an expert who's been selling business for a long time here. If you do have a question, don't be afraid to pop in the comments section, and we will get to you as quickly as we can. So, our first kind of port of call, your business valuation post lockdown. Obviously, there'll be some change, Rudy, in terms of multiples or how it worked and all that. So let's talk to that a little bit.
I think there's one significant difference, right, between the GFC and this time around. So this time around, the multiples probably will change and go down a little bit, only because there is no future maintainable income for the short term. So we're in a very simple business, and accountants won't agree on this probably with me. Because they talk about revenue, earning capabilities, and risk, and future viability. But I'm more talking about a simple business that's earning sort of like up to $100,000, possibly a bit more, and you have your 1 year discretionary income plus your assets and your stock. That's sort of like your starting point for a lot of businesses. Not for all. I don't say that.
Yes.
But for your typical possibly hospitality business. But I think in the most affected areas like retail and your hospitality and tourism.
Yeah, we've got nearly 8 weeks without trading now.
That's exactly right. Now, but it's not only those ones that are affected; it's also their wholesalers,
their suppliers, and the people that do services for them.
That's exactly right, and everything is sort of like a domino effect. However, I really believe that if you can really have some substantial evidence that it's because of the lockdown, it could be normalized.
Right.
And a decent buyer can probably see that for its value.
I guess provided there's a pathway to recovery that's just demonstrable as well.
Yeah, the only big problem you're going to have, and as long as that we are in a level 1 or 2, or possibly go back to 3, is what is the threat going to be? The immediate threat going to be within now and a couple of months that we have to close down again, because that's when that would really kill the businesses that are geared up to their neck and are in debt, like they wouldn't sustain.
Yes.
So I think that's really probably the biggest one. But I don't think that from a GFC point of view and what we learned from that, it's not going to be affecting the
overall value so much.
Earnings.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's just they were going to be less value because the profitability is less. That's really the driver.
Yeah. Cool. And so we talk about lessons from the GFC, and I know that you sort of started breaking towards the tail end of the GFC, but obviously you'll have historical data that you looked at and those things. So what happened to businesses that tried to sell in and around that period from sort of, I guess, late 2007 to 2011 would be probably what we consider to be the GFC?
Yeah, I think a lot of people then actually tried to hold on to their business until it was more viable, because obviously they saw that there was less money around. They could either sell for a lesser value because the profitability went down, or they could hang in there. And this time around, obviously, some people are rebuilding their business for the second or third time.
Yeah.
And they'll get tired of it and probably think like, oh, you know what? I just really can't be asked anymore. I'm going to sell now. And that will have a significant impact probably. But from the GFC, there was a whole lot of baby boomers that wanted to retire. They didn't want to invest anything in their technology, for example, in the updated payment systems and all that, or internet and all that. And they probably found themselves sort of like 10 years behind in the last 5 years. And that's what you have to sort of like look at, like, okay, so am I going to invest in my business and really going to make this work to drive the value, or am I going to just look and see if things are picking up? But I think if that's the case for you, then you should probably get out now rather than waiting, if that's the motivation.
Right. So essentially what you're saying is those businesses that do decide to stick in, and we're going to talk a little bit deeper about sticking in, are going to need to invest in their systems, invest in themselves, invest in their people, and really have to turn the thing and create something of a lot of value.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in your people, you're absolutely right. I mean, lockdown, I mean, James Ashwin from Kakapo, he did a fantastic job with us. Like, he made sure that we actually were not in holiday mode after about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mm.
And he organized some sales calls and all that, and really some training for us. And I think that's sort of like that sets us apart from probably some other brokers from bigger corporates that probably didn't have that support all that much or not on that scale. And that that's why I came to Kakapo, and that's why I'm proud to work for them. And there are other businesses in other sections of the market. They're exactly right. I mean, if you look at some people will do really well out of this situation.
Yeah, of course. Some businesses, remember, some businesses right now cannot keep up. They're at or above capacity, and they're it's not all businesses that have been adversely affected.
No, and it's also people adapt pretty quickly also on. I mean, I for one don't shop online, or actually I must say did not shop online. Now
I was gonna say.
I went to the I went to the local homebrew store on the internet, and I picked up the order about the same day. So it's like, oh, this is actually quite easy. And I think there's a lot of people that now actually this is the time to jump. This is they gained so much from this.
And those that were already set up online, obviously, had probably capitalized a lot on that over the last 7 weeks.
There was a good story about this lady from the farmers market here. She's a bit old school and didn't want to have pay wave and all that and FPOS, and she only took cash, but now she couldn't. And now she's actually sending people emails. Hey, why did you jump online? And you can just do your order, and it's really easy. This is how you do it. And she just adapted really, really quickly. And that's probably what we're going to see a lot more. So that's good to see. It's only positive.
Quick segue while we're here. John's just asked us, hey, do you think it's advisable for business owners to supply a copy of their business plan as it was prior to lockdown?
Well, the overall business plan or direction shouldn't really change, or wouldn't really change, I believe personally. Now, I hate the word pivot, but sometimes there are things in there that you might just improve on your business plan rather than change your business plan. Yeah. So I would certainly not throw it out, because you already got a clear vision. If you're one of the few owners that actually has a business plan, because let's be honest, not many have, then don't throw it out.
Yeah, you've got just something.
Add to it. Add to it, but don't start from scratch and don't start over again.
Yeah, I love it. And so,
question, John.
So one of the things, you sort of talked about was looking at acquisition right now.
Yeah, I think some of these industries now, because people have pivoted, you might find yourself that you have a lot less competition. Maybe people moved on out of your industry altogether and just moved sideways. Other people would have possibly not survived it. And that's also the reality. So all of a sudden there is now actually, if somebody has not survived because they had a good business, but they just didn't have the cash flow to keep going, then there is actually, why wouldn't you negotiate with them and say, hey,
customer database.
You got a database. Surely you can work something out with, like a royalty or something.
Yeah, look, even small scale mergers, I think are a good opportunity in this space and in this time.
That's absolutely right. There's multiple scenarios. I think that pivoting is only one scenario. But really looking at like, hey, where can I make some gains, man? Like, how am I going to keep up with demand? Because there will be businesses that all of a sudden actually need more staff because the competitor has gone and they're going to be so busy. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, for sure. And sorry. I guess it kind of leads into gaining market share, and then that the first topic obviously was potentially maybe some competitors' database, or I think there's also a huge land grab for marketing it right now. Marketing dollar is a lot of people are pulling back. So if you are one of the businesses that's fortunate enough to actually be growing right now, then putting the hammer down on your marketing can actually really accelerate that growth.
Yeah, or simple things. If you don't want to spend on marketing, pick up the phone. There's not enough people picking up the phone and actually talking to people, and that's what one of the first things that James did for us. He said, like, hey, make us a list of 40 people you're gonna call in the next couple of weeks. And so and we did, and we probably didn't make as many phone calls as we normally would, but it was just to give us that focus on there. But to come back to getting market share, before you do that, think about your strategy, because if you're going to go in the wrong direction and you can't backtrack. For example, I'm working with an automotive business now, and they're looking for a few more mechanical workshops. But I said to them, like, if you're buying 2 or 3, and they have the money for it,
Yeah.
if you're buying 2 or 3, nobody wants to buy them in 2 or 3 years' time because they're all too scared you're going to take away their customers.
Mm.
So now we're actually looking at possibly buying a really big company or a dealership where there is no direct competition, and that actually might be a leap up.
Yeah.
But actually now might be the time to do that.
The opportunity's there right
through it.
now. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and businesses like that. I mean, I'm in Whangarei, right? So here, businesses, if they're sold, they don't come to market for another 20 or 30 years in some cases. So if you miss out on a dealership that is affordable, and this one is reasonably affordable in the scheme of things, I think, that's if you want to jump on a train, if you got the balls, just bloody go for it. But make sure before you do that is, talk to your bank, because the biggest issue now is going to be lending. And if you and banks are probably not too keen to take on new
too many
clients.
risks.
So
Yeah.
but if you have a track record, you've been paying your bills and you've been paying your mortgage and you got equity in your house, they probably want to talk to you.
Yeah. But a bit of a follow-up question from John. He just sort of said, hey, do you consider the virus will be a catalyst for many business owners that were thinking of selling and will sell and want to sell, so that the market will potentially be flooded with businesses?
Yes and no. So this week, like last week was my it's a hard one. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. And if they tell you they know it, then they're bullshitting you because nobody knows. But from what I can see here in Whangarei, last week was my busiest week since I joined with Kakapo in November.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had 5 businesses that I'm talking to now. From those 5, one I already had to market with the previous business brokers I worked with, but they had to take it off for other reasons. Now she has no desire, no energy to actually build it up again. And she rang me yesterday and said, like, Rudy, it's getting too hard. I gotta go. But that was the only business I believe from those 5 that one would be impacted by that by a lower multiple of earnings.
Yeah.
And two that actually is directly impacted and is selling because of COVID-19.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think in the short term you might see that, and that's what I think. In the short term you might see more people coming to market, but I think in about 6 months' time, you probably people seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and they actually probably decide to hang in there if they can, and possibly more so in the regions, because there is not many future opportunities.
Not many opportunities and not many, industries employing, and tourism's gone and all the rest. So, and I guess that kind of does, lead into that sort of point around, do you stick it out? Do you sell? How do you make that decision? It's your baby. You've put all your heart and soul into it. From a broker perspective, and obviously you want to gain a listing, you want to sell a business, but you would have talked to businesses over years that are just there or not there, and what is it? What is it from your perspective that you see?
Well, I'm not a bullshitter. I'm an honest person, and if I had a business now and I could stick it out, I would stick it out. But the reality is some people don't want to sell, but they have to sell. And the sooner you recognize that you have to sell, the more you're going to get for your business. Because if it's going to be too late, it's too late. And if you don't have the balls, and if you don't have the energy, and if you don't want to invest in your business, like we said before, then this actually might be just time to get out.
And so I think what I'm hearing here is that it's certainly first and foremost is to look at your numbers, your projections, your cash on hand, talk with your accountant, your professional advisors, and really take that advice as soon as you can.
I had another business. He happens to be a good mate of mine, and he had a business on the market for some time, and because of COVID, he couldn't sell anymore, or the buyer pulled out. And he said to me, like, really, after 12 weeks, I'm 50K in the hole. I'm going to close it down. So my advice, if you're in that position, I would actually say, like, listen, his business was worth about like $400,000.
Wow.
But he's not willing to take the risk. He's risk adverse, which I understand. But in that case scenario, what I would say to him is, like, listen, like, be sensible, take all the emotion out of it. I'm sure we can find a buyer for you that is willing to pay half the price that we put on initially. And it wasn't my listing. It was listed with some bloke in the South Island.
Yeah, sure.
Because it was real specialized. But like, if at least sell it for what you are going to be in the hole for. Don't just say close your business and walk away, because not having the 50 grand or having the 50 grand or having no debt, that's going to be a really big difference.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, cool. Great advice there. So look, John just asked to see what's the age group that you're seeing wanting to sell their business. Do you feel that there is an age, or is it more just maybe a position where the business is at and where the owner is at themselves?
I'm just going to look at the list of businesses I have, and I'm going to see. So one is a health issue, and probably about mid-50s. One is probably older. Yes, would look at to retire. One is family issues, retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, so
there's a bit of a pattern there.
There's really no pattern in that sense. But like I'm saying, like, the supply and demand in the main centers like Auckland, Hamilton, and Christchurch, I believe there's not going to be a problem with supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
But in the regions, people probably not so now in the immediate, but in the midterm, they might look at hang on for their business for a bit longer and retire maybe later if they see that the value is going to be there at some
once the kind of economy recovers back to a.
Yeah. Well, yes, economies go up and down, isn't it?
That's right.
And it just depends on like how long can you hang in there. But if you're 63 now and you don't have the stamina, it comes back to what energy do you have left, and is it such a bad thing to actually get some money out now and retire 2 years earlier?
Yeah, I get. Look, it certainly does. It does take a lot of energy as an entrepreneur to go in and rebuild whatever it might be to put that forward. So I guess it's really just a matter of your personal, where you're at personally, where your business is at, where you're at financially, and you've got to take all of that information and I think the big thing, and we've been talking about this a lot on some of the other lives, is like, what do you want, as an individual? Understand your needs.
Some people will have changed their whole mindset around what they actually want to do.
Yeah.
And like it's natural. In the beginning of lockdown, people probably thought like, oh, I can't do what I currently do, so I might get out of it. But that changed a week later when when the end or the tunnel was in sight.
Yeah.
But there will be people that just now say like, you know what, I have a great business, money is not important to me, I'm going to move on, I spend time with family, let's just do it.
Yeah, and then I guess and there's a lot of people that have shifted, changed, pivoted their offer as well. They're now probably got themselves a new a new kind of lease on life. They've got some new excitement about what they're doing, and that's great.
And don't be too scared to either hold off or to sell now. I think the myth that yes, people are looking for bargains now. There's going to be more businesses for sale than buyers. That's probably a given for the next couple of months. But don't forget that if you can actually have the proof that you can validate that it was a lockdown that affected your profitability, there is a way to normalize it. So all I would do is actually make sure that you have like your monthly cash flow. That people can actually see like, oh, actually, it's quite apparent that these months were really bad and the rest was actually really good compared to last year, 12 months ago.
Yeah,
so it's not. I don't think it's a really big issue. On the other hand, if you do decide to sell, keep that valuation real simple. I mean, it's no disrespect to accountants. I don't want to get a flood of messages from accountants like, oh, that's not how you do it. But if you keep it simple, and if you for some people it will be quite all right to take a year's salary plus the cost that they have to move on. It might be beneficial for both parties. But if you're going to go, oh, there's potential in this, and the potential is too big, people are not going to buy into your potential story. That's just, where is the potential? Because the other potential is that we're going to be in lockdown in 6 months' time again.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. Awesome. I was going to ask you for one kind of closing tip, but I think you just gave it to us anyway. The way you summarized that whole topic there.
Yeah, and that's a good topic. But I think sometimes there is a lot of people still that are wondering about, you know, why can't the government do more? And we talked about it in length, and we got different opinions, I guess, and that's absolutely fine. But you know, like I don't ask what the government can do for me, but I actually look at like, hey, what can I do? Not necessarily for the government, but what can I do to actually help us getting back up? And let's go out there and actually make sure the money rolls and new business owners coming on board. You know, that's yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
look,
work,
I mean, obviously we're all sitting on the edge of our seats waiting for the announcement at 4 o'clock today, and I guess at the end of the day, none of us can control what they decide. We can't even influence it. So, you know, the best thing we can do as business owners is just go, right, what can I do? What can I control? What can I take charge of? So,
yeah, and you know, there has been 3 weeks of lockdown to be negative. Now we got to get positive again, and we just got to get back on that horse and just, you know, go and do it. So
yeah, I love it. Awesome, Rudy. Hey, thank you so much for your time, mate. It's really, really appreciated.
Hey, no worries. And just a quick shout out to Juanita, because it's her birthday today.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Juanita. We've actually got Juanita jumping on tomorrow for a bit of a chat anyway. So looking forward to that one. But yeah, Rudy, I'll talk to you again soon.
Yep, no worries, man. Thank you so much. See you, buddy.